Hey guys, so today is my first ever what I eat in a week video. I started filming this pretty soon after my last weight loss video, since a lot of you really seem to like this idea. I'm going to get into this, but before I want to do a few housekeeping things before I get into the whole video. It's probably kind of long, so I really want to just put this right at the beginning. I'm not saying to eat like me if you are struggling with nutrition or you don't know what you need, etc. Please go see a dietitian. This is just what works for me and this is what I like to eat. Also, some things that I don't mention in like every single day is I do take a multivitamin and I drink 1 Diet Coke a day. Other than that, I think I did a really good job of getting everything that I ate on camera. And I also want you guys to keep in mind, this is what I'm eating to maintain my weight. And I've been eating like this for months and maintaining my weight at the same time. There's always a lot in my comments of like, you're not eating enough. But if I wasn't eating enough, I would be losing weight, and I'm not. I fluctuate between like 127 and 130. And also I will do my absolute best to link everything that I can in the description, because I do get a lot of like my cookware. I get some food from Amazon. I order a lot of stuff from Amazon, so a lot of this stuff is from Amazon, including a good amount of the food. Since this was my first ever like what I eat in a week video, I just wanted it to be just my normal what I eat. I can always, of course, do ones that are more lower cost, that are easier and quicker. And I do want to preface this video by saying I really like to cook. I know a lot of people don't have like an hour every day to cook, but I feel like it's really therapeutic. I think like cleaning my kitchen after is therapeutic as well. I really like to cook, and I feel like that's like my me time for the day. So I really do take that time to cook every single day. It's rare that I'll like meal prep or do like leftovers. You guys will notice that I do weigh a lot of my food. I know that for some people that can be an issue for them with food and counting calories and stuff. If that is an issue for you, please do not watch this video. Feel free to skip it. I like to weigh out my servings. There's nothing wrong with that. So please do not make it into something that it's not. So that's all I'm gonna say. Let's get into day one. So day one, I had just an energy drink in the morning and I didn't eat until dinner. So for dinner, I made some pasta. I really do like to kind of go all out when I cook. So I made pasta with spinach, mushrooms, some mock chicken, and then as a side, I made asparagus and also some crescent rolls. A lot of people have asked me like what I replace bread with, and it's just like, I love carbs. I don't know, I'm not on the whole keto thing. So yeah, I had 2 rolls. Then I topped that with some of my veggie parm, and that was my dinner. And then I have been really obsessed with smoothie bowls lately. So I had some banana and some cherries that I basically just food processed with some milk, and it comes out to like a really good texture. Then I topped that with some sweetened coconut flakes and some granola and called that good. Then the next day I sort of started on a coffee kick. So how I make my coffee is always iced. I'm not really a huge fan of hot coffee, so I put my ice in and then I get this iced Starbucks coffee, or sometimes my boyfriend will make me a pour over and I'll just let that chill in the fridge for a little bit. But when he's not home, I'll just use the Starbucks iced coffee, usually the blonde one or the medium roast one. And then I like to use the almond milk vanilla creamer. I really like it. 1 calorie, 1 gram, really easy. And I feel like the vanilla in it is really strong and it's really good. And then I like to use these sweet drops, and I don't feel like they have a overly like fake sweet taste. I think they're pretty good, especially the caramel one. I do really try to keep my coffees low calorie because if I have coffee, I'll usually have like 2 or 3 of them. Then later that day, I was feeling like weirdly hungry in the middle of the day, so I grabbed a granola bar. These Nature Valley ones are not really healthy, but they were on sale when I went shopping, and I'm on a coconut kick right now, so that was really, really good for like a midday snack. Then for dinner, I had leftover pasta, but instead of making it like spaghetti like I did the night before, I decided to make almost like a mac and cheese sort of concoction. And I sauteed up some mushrooms and some onions. And I used this plant-based queso dip that I get at Publix, and it is so good. It is like the best vegan queso that I've ever had, and it's really not that bad. It's pretty much made out of plants and nuts, which is really, really good. Not saying that it's like super, super healthy, but it's definitely substantially healthier than a traditional queso. So I poured a bunch of that in, added in some mock meat and also some spinach, and sort of had a like queso mac and cheese. I don't know. It was sort of a weird thing, but it was really, really good. And it was super, super filling. I could eat that queso like all day long, so having it as like mac and cheese was like amazing. And then I had another smoothie bowl. So this time I put some banana, cherries, and blackberries, food processed with some almond milk and topped with granola, sweetened coconut, and then I had found some honey in my cabinet that I had gotten from, I think, the farmer's market back in Portland, and so I topped it off with that, and that was what I had for the day. So the next day was a Saturday, and this day my boyfriend was home, so in the morning we had some coffee. I ended up having 2 total that day, and that day there was a local vegan seafood pop-up, and so we went to that and we got a ton of food because we wanted to try it all. We got some like sliders, we got like fish, crab cakes. So I ended up eating a lot of that. Obviously, when you're in those situations, you don't know how many calories something is, so I just do my best to estimate. I'm not gonna stress too much about it. So we also got these like little pudding things. This one is Oreo and this one is a banana one, I'm pretty sure. And me and David are going to split both of these so we can try them both. So I may or may not have pretty much eaten both of these. David ate like half of the Oreo one, but then he said it was too sweet for him, so then I ate this one and the rest of this one. Am I gonna break out pretty bad tomorrow? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. And then after that, I was feeling like really, really heavy because obviously I don't normally eat that much or like that greasy. And so I decided to go grocery shopping, and I took you guys with me. So I'm gonna give you guys off to pass Emily for that. All right, hello. So I'm going to take you guys grocery shopping with me. It is like 10 on a Saturday night. I was feeling really, really like kind of heavy after I ate all that food. And so I just kind of felt like I needed to walk around, and what better place to do that than Target? I needed to go grocery shopping anyway, and I figured if I went tonight, I could walk around a little bit, get my grocery shopping done, get out of the house for the first time in literally 2 weeks. When I went out today to that thing, I realized it was the first time I had left the house in literally 2 weeks. Because I don't think I've talked about this, but me and my boyfriend share a car, and he goes to work every day. And so I can't go anywhere if I wanted to. I mean, technically, could I Uber? Yes. Am I gonna do that? No. I used to grocery shop like every couple days because I get a lot of like perishable foods, but now I kind of just have to make it work. So I do go grocery shopping like probably once every week or two. It depends. Sometimes I can make it last 2 weeks if I'm like really pushing it. So you know what? I just don't end up leaving for literally weeks at a time, which is fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I am shopping at Target. This is a super Target, so that's why there's all these groceries. I know that it is a little like really grocery shopping at like Target, like who are you? But I think I talked about it a while ago. I had gotten followed by some guys in a grocery store, and that was really, really scary for me. And it took me a long time to be able to go grocery shopping by myself. And so I tried to stick to more familiar, like nicer grocery shops now. Even if they're more expensive, I bite the price over feeling a little bit safer. And the Krogers near me are a little not as nice as like this Target is. I just feel a lot safer here. So that's why I'm like shopping at like a Target for groceries, because I still have a lot of anxiety just about going like alone to do this kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get going. I'm gonna take you guys with me, show you guys a lot of my staples, what I usually get. So let's get on going. Remembered my reusable bags. Pretty good deal on strawberries, so I'm gonna get some of these. I'm just totally out of all of my normal vegetables and sweet potato. Always need a lot of carrots, cauliflower, and lots of broccoli. Always good to have. Then I grabbed some frozen as well for when I am like out of fresh. Get some mock meat. I personally prefer the Gardein, but the Morningstar usually is cheaper. And then I love bread, so I get a bunch of rolls. For like snacky, sort of like what I would say like chips, I like Goldfish. And then I love these. Alright, so grocery shopping complete. I spent $184, and that includes my $50 dog food. But that will pretty much last us a solid week and a half with all of that plus what I already have at home. I feel like when I ate like a lot all the time, I would spend upwards, me and my boyfriend, because this is for both of us, I shop for both of us, I would spend like upwards of like $1,000 a month on food, like mostly like takeout. Then on Sunday I had 2 iced coffees, and I decided to make my version of curry. I like to basically just get the like simmer sauces and mix it with a bunch of vegetables that I like. You guys have probably seen me do this countless times now, because this is one of my favorite things to make. So when I do that, I usually just use whatever I have. So I use some mushrooms, carrots, broccoli, some chickpeas, and the simmer sauce. When I'm making the like curry stuff, I don't really like to use much oil, so I usually do use some broth to sort of cook the vegetables. I don't find that it makes them like soggy or anything like that, because I don't flood it. I just use like, I don't know, a couple tablespoons, a splash, whatever, just enough to like sort of cover the bottom ever so slightly so that the vegetables don't get burnt. And then I put the top on, and I feel like that sort of cooks things faster. It kind of steams them. And then in the end, I also just ended up tossing in some spinach that I had. And I also had this with some jasmine rice. I was able to make 3 pretty good portions in total. And so I had the curry with also these little cute mini naan rounds. They're like 90 calories a piece. They're really good, and I felt like it was a pretty good size. Then later that day, I had wanted to try something that I had never tried before. You can save the water from chickpeas, and it will sort of fluff up like egg whites will. So I wanted to try my hand at making a mousse with it. So it's pretty simple. I basically just followed like an online recipe. Basically just melt down some chocolate. I love this chocolate. It's the Lily's stevia sweetened, and I don't feel like you can taste the stevia at all. It is my absolute favorite chocolate to have now. So I had that on hand, so I melted some of that down, and I whipped up the, I think it's called like aquafab. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then I also just whipped that up until it was fluffy, and then I added some sugar. So this sugar isn't real sugar, but it's the best sugar substitute that I found so far. It's basically like dried monk fruit with erythritol. I think it tastes pretty similar. It doesn't really have that like stevia aftertaste that you get a lot of the time with fake sweetener. Then I folded the chocolate into the fluff mixture that I made and then put it in some containers and put it in the fridge for a few hours. And it ended up okay. It was a little rich for my taste. I would have definitely done a lot less chocolate, but I had already done less chocolate than the recipe had called for. But nonetheless, I had that topped with some shredded coconut and some banana, and it was still pretty good though, don't get me wrong. And then I also ended up having a good portion of goldfish as well. Next day was Monday, and I had another coffee, shocker. I decided to make up some of my wraps that I always make if you follow me on my like second Instagram and you watch my story. So I roasted up some cauliflower, put some of the mock chicken in the air fryer. Anytime I cook the like fake meat now, I put it in the air fryer and it comes out so good and crispy. For my like dressing on those, I had some buffalo ranch that I had made like, I don't know, last week or something like that, with some onions, some more of that plant-based queso, spinach, and topped off with some more buffalo sauce. I also had a side of edamame because I just had like a tiny bit left in my freezer and I wanted to get rid of it. Later that day, I decided I wanted to venture into chia seeds. I had some because I had been making a lot of smoothie bowls. I had seen a lot of people put chia seeds on them and I was really curious, so I got some and I decided to just try out chia pudding first and foremost to just even see what they taste like. In the meantime, I prepped a lot of my smoothie bowl fruit for the next week. So I cut up and like packaged all of my bananas, strawberries, blueberries. I prefer to buy the fruit and freeze it myself opposed to buying frozen fruit, except for the cherries. I don't like to like deep pit them and then freeze them. But for the most part, I like to freeze fruit from fresh myself. I just feel like it turns out better. I can pick like how ripe I freeze it at. I don't know. I just prefer to do it like that. I also feel like it's a lot cheaper to do it like that because I usually will just buy whatever fruit is on sale and then freeze it and it's going to stay good for a good while. So for my chia pudding later that night, I decided to blend up some banana, strawberry, and some more almond milk and sort of just like mix it in to flavor the chia pudding with. And I don't think I showed it, but I also ended up mixing in some honey because it wasn't really that sweet. But after I did that, it was really good. It does taste just like really small tapioca pearls. And then I decided to have some avocado English muffin. I just toasted a English muffin and then I put this avocado mash on it with some everything bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. And the everything bagel seasoning is so good. It's basically just, I think, like onion, garlic powder, and then like some sesame seeds, but it is so good. And then next day I had 3 coffees, and for dinner I decided to make some more curry. I used soy curls this time and I figured I would show you guys how to make them. Soy curls are really easy. You basically just soak them in some warm water for like 10 minutes and then I like to put them between a container of like the same size and squeeze out as much of the moisture as I can because otherwise they can taste sort of soggy. Also cut up some sweet potato, broccoli, onion, and some cauliflower and basically just, you know, sauteed up that all together with my normal broth, you know, the usual. Added in some spinach in the end, like always, and then had that with another little piece of naan. Then I had, you'll never guess, another smoothie bowl. This time it was bananas, cherries, and strawberries with some almond milk, of course. food processed, and then I topped it with some granola, chia seeds, coconut shreds, and some honey. And this one was like the best I had made. I feel like I'm like a smoothie bowl master at this point, honestly.
I know all of the words, I've heard them in many voices.
I then again had another English muffin, avocado toast sort of thing. Basically, exact same thing I had the night before with the everything bagel seasoning and the little individual avocado mash. And then I also had some ice cream. This is my absolute favorite ice cream ever. The Nadamu ice cream is made with coconut milk or coconut cream or whatever, and it is so good. It is by far my favorite, and an entire pint of it isn't too bad. They range from like 500 to 600 calories, so it's not like as bad as like an entire Ben and Jerry's, which can be like over 1,000, but I still try not to eat just like the entire thing, so I ate 2/3 of it. And then here is where the quality of this video goes way downhill. My memory card had filled up at this point, so now everything you'll see has been filmed on my phone. That day I had to run out to the store and I found these cotton candy grapes and these gummy bear grapes. So I sort of snacked on those on the way home. I probably ate a good amount of them, to be honest, because I was just like eating them on my way home. I obviously couldn't measure them out. Also not pictured is the 3 coffees I had that day. For dinner, I had a burrito. I'm from New Mexico, and like the biggest thing there is green chili, and I'm lucky enough that my mom ships some out to me. And I had this frozen, and when it thaws, it sort of separates a little bit, so I had to pour it in like a giant like vat and cook it down a little bit, so that's what that is. I also made some mock ground beef and some refried beans, and I put the hot and spicy taco seasoning in both, and then I also ended up deciding to also have some rice with it because I love that rice. So I had all of that filling with one of the fiber tortillas that I like, with some of that queso as well. I know this probably looks gross, but it's really good, I promise. That day I had switched it up a little bit and I did bananas, blackberries, and I also added some cashew butter in the mix as well, and topped it with the sweetened coconut, granola, chia seeds, and some honey. And then I also ended up having more grapes later that night. And then that is it. That is everything that I ate this past week. I hope you guys liked this video. It took a lot of work, way more work than my normal videos do. So I really hope you guys liked it. If you guys want more of these, please make sure to give this video a like so I know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!